Hello guys and welcome to my new video, and today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'll be talking about healers or best healers in 5-man content, but this is going to be a more of a community perception video because I've done quite a few healer videos already. But I know that if you're not a restoration druid, if you're any other healing class, you're basically garbage and you should be basically deleted from the game itself. Stop playing, go on to Hello Kitty Island Adventure and whatever, because Resto druids are the #1 healers in Mythic Plus and there's no one else who's even close to them. So, you know, stop playing, re-roll to Resto Druid. Or at least this is something what a lot of these pug leaders or people who make groups seem to think. Resto Druid perception, or the MDI curse, is upon us, and it's stronger than ever, in my honest opinion. I've seen and I've read forum posts about people complaining, healers complaining, non-Resto Druid healers complaining about how bad it is at the moment. There will be groups who have battle res available to them already, but they'll be waiting 20 minutes for these plus 15 keys to get that Resto Druid, even though they have plenty of Resto Shamans, plenty of this priest or whatever applying, but they'll just wait for that Resto Druid to complete their MDI-like group, where they'll be still pulling one trash pack at a time, where they will try to replicate what they saw on MDI, but it won't be the same. So this video is a community perception video. I'll be talking about the healers, and you can send this video when you get declined, when someone tells you your class is inappropriate for this plus 10 key, because this priests cannot go above 10, cannot go above 15. Someone tells you this, you can send them this video. This video is to showcase that every single healer has certain strengths, and every single healer is capable of doing keys at least plus 15s in a pug scenarios, at least plus 15s. They're capable of doing it. Of course, if your group is looking for that battle res and they need a battle res, they don't have a battle res in a group, yeah, Resto Druid might make sense because they have a battle res. But let's look at the healers, and first of all, let's start off with Restoration Shamans. In my eyes, the most underrated healer in the game right now. I've been having a blast on Resto Shaman. In my honest opinion, Resto Shaman is going to rival one of the best healers in terms of healing throughput on heavy healing weeks, on weeks like Grievous, on weeks like Bursting, on weeks like Bursting Quaking. I know it sounds weird, but Resto Shaman with Cloudburst Totem, which is going to store up your overhealing, and you're able to play with Cloudburst Totem, especially with double Cloudburst Totem with Echoes of the Elements, you're able to kind of store up this, if you play it properly, store up massive amount of healing when it's needed, and you can use it for single target healing, burst, or AoE burst. If you see your tank has 4 stacks and your Cloudburst is, you know, you're kind of building up your Cloudburst, you can pop it early to get your tank above the Cloudburst or Grievous threshold. I've been having a ton of fun on Resto Shaman during these heavy weeks, and I would boldly say that Resto Shaman is one of the best healers on these heavy healing weeks, especially with Spirit Link being so strong as well. Now, let's look at Mistweaver. Mistweaver, even in MDI standards, Mistweaver is arguably your second best healer after Resto Druid. To some extent, Mistweaver could be argued as being better than Resto Druid on like maybe healing throughput for certain boss fights and things like that. So Mistweaver is not far below the top healers, even at the very top. But this video is looking at lower keys, it's looking at pug scenarios. First of all, Mistweaver has the best single target healing in the game, better than Resto Druid. You can properly carry your tanks through Mythic Plus dungeons as a Mistweaver. You have a great AoE. Spinning Crane Kick is actually really fun to use on these massive reaping waves, where it will do like 40k DPS if you do it right. The 5% physical buff there as well. So Mistweavers are no slouch. They are very good healers. If we look at Holy Paladins, the Glimmer Kings right now. So Glimmer has been very successful with Holy Paladins. A lot of people will be running Holy Paladins with Glimmer build in raids. They'll be trying Glimmer build in 5-mans. If you want a healer or a DPS healer who can beat other DPS on meters during their like single target burst on a boss or whatever, when they pop their wings, Holy Avenger, whatever, their pot as well, and they go at it, Holy Paladin is probably the healer that's gonna get you closest to topping the meters as a healer in terms of DPS. Their burst is insanely strong, and you can use that burst to either heal or DPS. So you can have a really fun time trying to decide, do I go burst DPS here? Do I go burst healing here? Glimmer is fun to apply to different mobs. When you heal, it's gonna also DPS the mobs. Overall, it's a fun healer at the moment, and if you can optimize it really well, you'll do some proper damage. I would call them kings of blessings because they have so many different utility points with freedom or blessing of freedom, blessing of protection, where some of these special blessings can be really strong on specific boss fights, negating certain mechanics completely. You just need to know when to use them. So that is Holy Paladin. If we look at Discipline Priest is the only healer basically where a lot of DPS who are re-rolling to healers would kind of probably like this as a Disc Priest, because Disc Priests are the only healers where you can DPS and you'll be healing at the same time. So you don't have to choose whether you want to DPS at this part or heal at this part like many other healers. There are some exceptions to this rule, but many other healers will have to go, okay, I'm gonna go DPS here, I'm gonna stop healing. With Discipline Priest, there is something insanely satisfying and fun about the fact that, hey, I can help out with a boss DPS right now, my Shadow World Pain, my Smite, my Penance, I'm gonna use it offensively, I'm gonna DPS, and at the same time, I'm going to provide healing to the group. And it's something insanely satisfying about that fact. Makes Discipline Priest a very fun healer in 5 months, in my opinion. Arguably one of the most fun healers if you can play it correctly. And you also have things like, you know, Master Spell, which makes it really easy to handle the magic debuff on Reaping Waves. You also have Life Grip. If the tank is having some problems with necrotic stacks, you can just pull them in, or you can guide your tank to better ways. We'll go to Holy Priest, and Holy Priest again, to some extent, is underrated. The amount of healing the Holy Priest can really put out is actually quite insane. You have so many AoE healing abilities. You can really do some solid AoE healing as a Holy Priest, and especially on these heavy weeks like Bursting, Grievous, Quaking weeks. Try out Life of the Naru talent. Life of the Naru talent will provide you, let's say, will make it easier to provide continuous AoE healing, and I've been using it on these heavy AoE weeks, and I've been having some extremely good numbers, and extremely satisfying to see Holy Priest being successful in these keys. Again, simple DPS rotation, a relatively simple healer to play as well, and it deserves its spot in that Mythic Plus group. Now let's talk about the culprit, the healer that everybody wants, and that is Restoration Druid. Resto Druid has scaled really well in the last couple of these patches, and it's been really popular in MDI, and there's a reason why it's really popular in MDI, because its mana consumption is good, its overall healing is good, but for really the lower keys, you'll find that certain other healers, Resto Druid could be lacking in that burst healing potential. Like, I found that Resto Shaman burst healing potential is a lot stronger than Resto Druid's, and it makes sense because Resto Druid relies on HOTS. Some people might not enjoy the playstyle of HOTS, but overall, Resto Druid is a very fun healer to play. It is strong in a lot of departments. Resto Druid can do a lot of DPS as well, kitty form, but a lot of new healers don't really enjoy dealing damage as a healer, so they might not even go into kitty form. You have to consider that for doing that plus 10 key or looking for a plus 10 group, you might invite a Resto Druid. And the thing that makes Resto Druids really strong is their kitty form on top of many other things. But that player might not want to do kitty form. They might not feel comfortable about DPSing. So all of a sudden, the big advantage of a Resto Druid is kind of brought down. Let's say, for example, there'll be a new healer doing a plus 10 and you bring a Resto Druid and they die. And that's your only battle res in a group. And, you know, you kind of lost out on the whole reason of inviting the Druid in that position. So you have to consider that in a lot of lower or casual content, the things that really propel the class into the, you know, the MDI levels might not be utilized by the players who play casually. So all of a sudden, looking for Resto Druid for those, you know, for 20 minutes to get your plus 10 at Aldazar done, doesn't really make sense anymore. In terms of fun, Resto Druid is an extremely fun healer. I main a Resto Druid, and this whole, or at least I main a Resto Druid in Mythic Plus content, and I'm making this video to try and help out the community perception in terms of all other healers, because when I play my alts, I am really kind of surprised and really disappointed by certain people where I might make a key myself. I might do like whatever 10 at Aldazar as a Discipline Priest, and people will join my group and then they'll instantly leave because they'll say Discipline Priest will not be able to heal this, or a Holy Priest cannot heal this. That happened to me multiple times, and I've seen that happen to other people multiple times. So I want to kind of make people aware of the fact that MDI level of preparation is not needed for lower keys. So this video is not going to be a ranking or anything like that, and I'm not really going to talk about Resto Druids that much, because this video is mainly aimed at the people who feel they need that Resto Druid for that keys, for that plus 10 key, for that plus 15 key, where every other healer is basically brought down. And it makes me kind of, I get the point where people want to min-max, but at those levels, really at those levels, at the weekly cash levels, you really don't need that crazy min-maxing. And certain other healers might be even better for some keys or some affixes than that Resto Druid. So hopefully this video is going to be somewhat of an eye-opener to a lot of the people who are looking to play a healer, or who are looking to make groups around healers and they're just looking for the Resto Druid. A lot of other healers are actually very strong right now, and they can fit your role really nicely. Don't just wait for 20 minutes to get your Resto Druid. Consider that your Resto Shaman could handle this week, no issues, or your Disc Priest could do a lot of damage and a lot of healing, and there'll be no issues of bringing a Discipline Priest in this plus 11 King's Rest or something like that. Let me know, guys. Let me know how you feel about this community perception. Let me know how you feel about my little video. I know not everyone is going to like this video. Let me know how you feel about this community perception. And if you're playing a healer that is not Resto Druid, how bad has it been? Let me know. And thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.